Hi, Karen.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm very well. How was your day?
Good. I actually had the day off today.
Oh my gosh, amazing. What did you actually do?
Well, I got ready for this, and I slept in a little bit.
And you what?
I slept in a little bit, and I did some errands, some things I needed to do. So it was nice to have the day off instead of rushing home and hopping on.
I bet. So, did you was it a Lou day sort of thing or just I need a me day?
Well, I have to work every other Saturday, so this was my day off. So I have today and Sunday off.
Oh, got you. Okay,
And
great.
I worked two in a row because I said I'm not working the 28th.
No, you cannot. Oh my gosh, that is right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jen. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, ladies? Jen, how are you doing? How was Peter Pan?
They finally let me out of Neverland. It was great. We sold out almost every show. It was so good, but it was so much work.
Yes.
We know what it's like. So, yeah, it was so much work. So I'm glad it's over. I can get back to life, and I don't know if I told you, but they had cast almost 50 kids, and then they fired the director. So I just stepped into somebody else's mess, basically. So it was a little more than I had expected, but that's okay. It's done. It was a success. What can
Wow.
we can't ask for anything more.
I don't understand how, so is it like a board of directors that did that?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
it was.
So they made that decision, but then weren't willing to step into the role themselves.
No, none of them have a creative background. Most of them are business backgrounds. So they just had a simple answer of, well, we'll cancel it. But, I have a great working relationship with the theater, and I just knew that that wasn't a good thing for the theater. And the families, and, 50 kids have a network of people. So I knew by that canceling it was not, going to be a good end result for them. So anyways, we did it. It's done.
It was a huge success. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back though. Thank you. I missed you guys. I missed this, and it was just a lot to juggle, but that's okay. We're done.
We are glad you are here off of your massive accomplishment.
Jen, what was the theater company?
It was at the Capitol Theater.
But was it the Capitol Theater's board that fired the director?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And they are a professional theater, and who was the director?
It was Shannon.
Oh,
so she was like, yeah.
But they have a budget to hire someone to step in. That's what I'm like. That's appalling. Actually, you did the community a big service, but that board is really under.
Yeah.
That's a liability. They really screwed up.
They did. And, I just knew it wasn't good for them.
No. So, well, of course not. And at the end of the day, what's good for the theater is better for your community. Yeah. But that board needs, having been in your...
3 years gone now through all this. And they're going through a transition phase. So
obviously.
I didn't even ask. I didn't want to know.
Good for you. Good for you for shedding it. But that's cool. That's what I was like, if this is the Capitol, they have a budget, they can do this.
Yeah. And then the Capitol Theater is so near and dear to my heart. So
me too. Okay. Anyway, back to you, Heidi. I'm sorry. So sorry.
I have a guest choreographer here tonight, so teaching our kids their hip hop routines. So if you hear the music, I apologize. I'll be on mute.
So I saw a photo that you posted that you had a guest choreographer there.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you do that often?
Yeah, we do it every year. We do it for most of our competition dances. So they finish them all in the summer. So by the time they start the year, they're already done all their dances, and then they get exposure to all these different people. Last year, we flew people in from LA to work with the kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing, Jen. Oh my God.
So it just happened to be right after Peter Pan. So I was like, here we go. I've been had a day off, and I don't know how long.
Are you able to take this weekend off?
So I'm leaving for the cottage on Monday, and we're going for a week. So I'm going to do the 2 classes that I missed while I'm at the cottage, like on a rainy day. But I'm taking a whole week off. So yeah, we need it.
Fantastic. Wow. Sherry, how are you? Oh my gosh, how are you?
Well, I'm not good. Like, I'm good and not good. Like, I'm still in flux. I'm still in a rough shape. But you know, it's the nice thing is that I like my therapist. And I think one of the biggest things she's helping me do right now is, and all this, I've been in rough shape, and then I had 4 employees quit, which is really great all at once. Yeah.
I literally just read that. Like, I just read your note, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe that just happened.
Yeah. So then I'm trying to salvage certain clients, and then I'm also going, why am I doing this? And then the one key one, and I respect why they all quit, but I think everyone begs for the job, and no one really, when you have to really work hard, it's hard, but I pay well. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. I think what I decided to was that,
Sherry, if you think about it, it's very similar to what Jen has just gone
exactly.
thrown into, oh my God, such a mess, not willing, that director, whatever happened, and they had to get rid of it, just jump in. And here you are kind of going through the same thing where it's like, and I love that you just said that it's like everyone begs for the job, but then not willing to do the work. And it's like that selfish behavior, then they just leave because that's good for them without realizing the repercussions and how the ripple effect is happening with everyone else as well. And here now you as a business owner, it's like you have to pick up the slack and like answer to the clients. And it's like, that's a nightmare. And I'm so sorry, just like Jen, not having to swoop in. But Sherry, you'll do the same thing. You will.
Well, and it was actually a biggest blessing that's happened to me, because I turned it around and looked and said, you know what? I need to, right now I'm living to work. Like I created this, I was running a lifestyle that wasn't what I dreamed of having. And so I said, no, these are the days I'm going to work. I'm only going to work with clients that are lovely, because that's it. Anyone that I'm feeling like they don't really appreciate us, me and my girls, and I'm only working with the girls who have the same sense of integrity that I do. And I don't need to be bigger. I don't need to be more than that. And I'll find ways of just having a different kind of life. And then I think I was working out of a great deal of fear. And I think that that's really what ended up happening, is that I've been working out of a great deal of fear and panic. And also I've been in mania. So that hasn't helped. I've been in a manic mode. And so what happens is my amygdala shuts down, and then all of a sudden, boom, I just crash and I go AWOL for a week. And I just can't, because I can't cope. I get so overwhelmed, and it's all part of the disorder, the brain, but I haven't still got my management skills in place. So there's lots of stuff I dropped the ball and went, oh, wow, I didn't know. And unfortunately, the one person who quit was the person I brought in to say, I need help scheduling. I need help being on track. So I'll find somebody.
Of course.
But in the meantime, I'm just like you, Jen. I'm just decided, nope, paring down what's important. You know what? There's always new ones. There's always another client. There's always somebody.
Yes, there is. I completely agree with you. Oh my gosh, ladies, it's so amazing. I love, like, we're here, we're on, week 6 that we're in. And I love that we're in this place of we're able to have these moments. And that's why, I did send a note. No one is obligated. You are more than welcome to stay on afterwards to chat, because we do start to get to a point where a lot of these workshops start to show up. They start to give us awareness. They start to make us question things, or make us just want to talk a little more. So I need you to know that after we finish, we can definitely follow up on anything you guys want to talk about. But today is a fantastic workshop because it's on gratitude, and it is one of my favorite topics on the entire planet. A lot of this stuff, guys, as leaders, all of you know so well, but this particular workshop is so incredibly important because there are so many people that attribute gratitude to just saying the word thank you, and it's not. It's so much bigger. It's so much more. It's so much more important. Gratitude equals abundance and joy. And that's a plain, simple fact. Without gratitude, we have lack and scarcity. That's what happens. That's it. It's just that simple. I've literally told you the whole workshop, so we're done. No. But that's in essence exactly what it is. So I'm going to go through, guys, it's just going to be us. It's a small group today, so please do not hesitate to jump in if you want to share a little more. I would really love that. You're more than welcome. So according to, this is the most fascinating thing about gratitude, is I'm going to give you two different perspectives of gratitude from two very different people, and yet how amazing it is that it shows up exactly the same. So according to Brother David Steinhill Rast, and at the very end of this workshop is a link, and I do beg you to take the time. If you haven't already seen this video, you may have. It's a very well-known video. It has been viewed millions of times. But Brother David Steinhill Rast, he's 91 years old, and he's a Benedictine monk, okay? So he believes gratefulness is the true source of lasting joy. He suggests that two qualities belong in our basic definition of gratitude. And his meditation that you do at the end is unbelievable. The first is appreciation. You recognize that something is valuable to you, which has nothing to do with its monetary worth. So that's number one. The second quality is that gratitude is gratis. It is freely given to you. So this is coming from a monk, someone with a religious background. This is how they describe gratitude. Now, Robert Emmons, I have mentioned him in several other workshops that we've gone through. And every single time I'm like, we're going to talk more about him and gratitude, because this person is the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. He is a professor of psychology at the University of California, Davis, and the founding editor-in-chief of the Journal of Positive Psychology. Also argues that gratitude has two key components. How amazing! Two components. First, it's an affirmation of goodness. We affirm that there are good things in the world, gifts and benefits we've received. Number two, gratitude, he explains. We recognize that the source of this goodness are outside of ourselves. We acknowledge that other people gave us many gifts, big and small, to help us achieve the goodness of our lives. How incredible that two people from completely different spectrums, one very religious, one very spiritual, one very scientific, and yet what are they seeing? The same thing with gratitude. So a study, so how then can we practice gratitude to increase then our overall happiness? How do we actually do this? A study conducted by Emmons and his partner in 2003 outlined the positive impact that practicing gratitude can have on our well-being. Research was carried out with 3 experimental groups over a 10-week period. This study is incredibly famous because of what came out of it. And I actually, this particular study, I talk about it a lot. Anytime I bring up gratitude, I always reference back to this particular study because of how important it is and what ended up coming out of it. So group 1, what he did, group 1 is the condition group. The first group was asked to write down 5 things they were grateful for each week for 10 weeks of the study. So what are you grateful for? Just write them down. Group 2, the Hassel's condition group. The second group was asked to write down 5 daily annoyances or hassles from the previous week. So one group, of course, what are you grateful for? That's all I want you to write. One, what are you hassled about? What are you going to complain about? What is happening in your life? The third group, of course, was our controlled condition group. The third group was asked to simply just put 5 things down. Just write down whatever. Write down whatever you want. But told to focus on either positive or negative aspects. So do either or, but just write what you want. We're not going to tell you what to do. The types of things people listed in the grateful condition group included sunsets through the clouds, the chance to be alive, the generosity of friends, the right to vote. These were the simple things that they wrote down. The hassles condition group, what did they do? Of course, they complained. Hard to find parking. Burned my macaroni and cheese. That's my favorite one. No money for gas. Okay, they did nothing but complain. The control condition group listed just both positive and negative. Okay? Before the experiment began, I should also note that all, when they signed up for this, had already journaled on a regular basis. So it wasn't that that aspect of their life was that much different, okay? The shocking conclusion, people who were in the gratitude condition group felt, this is mind-blowing to me, 25% happier. They were more optimistic about the future. They felt better about their lives, and they did almost 1.5 hours more exercise a week than those in the hassles or the condition group. So think about that. 10 weeks. This was 10 weeks of their life. They were 25% happier, and now they were even exercising. They were being more social. They were doing all these things. Can you imagine if they did it for 52 weeks of the year? That was only 10. And that's why I literally say this is a shocking conclusion. And this was one of these experiments that literally just shook everything up. Like, people were like, are you freaking kidding me? People just saying what they were grateful for, they were 25% happier like that in 10 weeks. So why is it important then to practice gratitude on a daily basis? Duh. Because you're going to be happier. Guys, it's mind-blowing what gratitude can do. And I'm so shocked that there's so many human beings that don't put more of an importance on it. If only you just read that study, wouldn't you change your life? You would change your life from that study. There have definitely been events in your life that made you happy. Okay? Maybe the time you bought your first car, or the time that you received that long desired promotion. Every time these amazing things happen in our life, what happens? We're happy in that instant, right? Or the time, now let's go back, when we lost weight. Just think as a woman what that feels like when we lose weight, right? We get back in our skinny jeans, whatever it is. How happy do we feel in those moments, right? When good things happen, we feel positive emotions, excitement, relief, pride, happiness. All of these things exist when that happens. But the problem is, what happens with that happiness? It usually doesn't last, right? You buy that first car. What happens? All of a sudden, it's like it starts to lose the new car smell, right? It's like all of a sudden, you know, you were excited, you got back into your skinny jeans, but then I'm like, well, you know what? Like, why can't I, you know, I'm only a size 10 now. Why can't I be a size 8? It's like we're never happy. But it'd be really great to be that size 6, right? So that's what we do. This is what we do. So psychologists call this. So this is what happens to us on a regular basis. Psychologists call this phenomenon the hedonic adaptation. Okay? The idea is that no matter how good something makes us feel, or for the record, how bad, most of the time we drift back to where we started emotionally speaking. So that's what happened. How many of you know that emotional roller coaster? Oh my God, I'm super, super happy, super happy. This was amazing. This was amazing. And then it's over and I'm back down here, right? We crash. One study famously showed that despite their initial euphoria, lottery winners were no happier than non-winners 18 months later. They just won the lottery. And yet 18 months later, they were no happier than before they won it. The same tendency to return to baseline has been shown to occur after marriage. So that heightened the wedding, the marriage, everything else. And then it's like that first year, you're still excited, newlywed. And then what starts to happen? We generally start to dip down. Voluntary job changes, promotions, we get the heightened, oh my God, and then we go back down. It's called to baseline. The kinds of things we usually expect to change our happiness and well-being for the better in a permanent way. So this is what happens. So gratitude is in many ways the opposite of the hedonic adaptation. It's going out of your way to focus on something rather than taking it for granted or letting it fade into the background. When we are grateful for our positive experiences and practice our gratitude again and again and again, we don't just make our happiness last, we kick it up a notch too. We actually raise it. So what happens is when we're doing the emotional roller coaster of we're constantly just looking for the next high in our life, the next happiness in our life. So we're always just chasing that, and then we're constantly going back to baseline. But what gratitude does is it not only keeps us up here, it in a lot of cases raises us, okay? Human beings spend a lot of time trying to figure out what will make them happy, but not nearly enough time trying to hang on to the happiness they already have. So here is the key with gratitude. We already have the happiness. Instead of constantly chasing the highs, we have to create it on a regular basis. So the benefits, why do we need to do this? Why do we need to get ourselves off the emotional roller coaster? Okay, so that we are not suffering from the hedonic adaptation. So we're not constantly doing the highs and then going back to baseline. Benefits of the gratitude. This is why it's important. Gratitude may be one of the most overlooked tools that we all have access to every single day. Cultivating gratitude doesn't cost any money, and it certainly doesn't take much time, but the benefits are ginormous. Research reveals gratitude can have these 7 benefits, okay? So we need to remember in a 10-week period, just journaling what people were grateful for, they were 25% happier. So gratitude opens doors, number 1, to more relationships. Not only does saying thank you constitute good manners, but showing appreciation can help you win new friends, according to a 2014 study published in Emotion. The study found that thanking a new acquaintance makes them more likely to seek an ongoing relationship. And I want you to think about this. When you open a door for someone and a person walks through and that person doesn't say thank you, what happens? We shift into a very negative place. I mean, you hear people, don't worry, you're welcome. Like you hear people do that. Or you're like, can you believe that rude person? We go to such an incredible place of negativity. And I'm not saying everybody does that, but it's very like, we're like, are you kidding me? I'm just standing here. I'm just the doorman at the mall, right? But when someone says thank you, what do we do? Oh my goodness, you're welcome. Yeah, don't worry about it. And what you feel, amazing. You feel acknowledged. You feel seen. It's an amazing thing. That is what gratitude can do. And so by doing that, anytime you are just having gratitude towards another relationship and saying thank you, that automatically, as human beings, makes us want to have contact with you. It does open the door to those relationships. So whether you thank a stranger for holding the door or you send a quick thank you note to the coworker who helped you with a project, acknowledging other people's contributions can lead to new opportunities. And I feel there's too many people that don't understand that opportunity right there. Gratitude connects us, okay? Number 2, And I find this one pretty amazing because there are so many people that don't understand how much gratitude improves our physical health. Grateful people experience fewer aches and pains, and they report feeling healthier than other people. And if you've noticed, with this particular workshop alone, I quote a lot of studies because there has been so many studies done on gratitude, and not enough people know that this exists, that this is scientifically been proven. This isn't like, remember I told you guys how my father called my thoughts voodoo? Oh, your mother's voodoo shit. This is not voodoo shit. This is real, people. Okay, so 2012 study published in Personality and Individual Differences. Not surprisingly, grateful people are also more likely to take care of their health. Remember, they did gratitude for 10 weeks and they started exercising more because they were starting to feel better about themselves, that they want to be healthier. They exercise more often and are more likely to attend regular checkups with their doctors, which is likely to contribute to further longevity. This, in a 2012 study, has been proven that people automatically start to exercise more and take care of their health. So that's number 2. Number 3, gratitude improves psychological health. Well, if we're going to physically start to feel better, of course we're mentally going to start to feel better. Gratitude reduces a multitude of toxic emotions, ranging from envy, resentment, to frustration and regret. And here's Robert Edmonds again, a leading gratitude researcher, has conducted multiple studies on the link between gratitude and well-being. His research confirms that gratitude effectively increases happiness and reduces depression. And we proved it in the study that I told you guys. It increases your happiness by 25%. I'm going to say that all the way through this until you realize just how freaking powerful gratitude is. Gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Grateful people are more likely to behave in a pro-social manner even when others behave less kind. And this is according to a 2012 study by the University of Kentucky. Study participants who ranked higher on gratitude scales were less likely to retaliate against others, even when given negative feedback. They experience more sensitivity and empathy towards other people and decreased desire to seek revenge. Which honestly, like, how incredible is that? So those people that are so aggressive and their back goes up immediately and they're always on the attack, these are people that have not brought gratitude into their life. Because anyone that is in any form of gratitude will not retaliate. It just won't happen because they're going to be in a place of like, I'm thankful for that we're having this conversation. I'm thankful for the awareness this has brought. They're always going to go to that place. It's just going to be a natural thing. Number 5. Well, you know what? Grateful people are going to sleep better. Well, their psychology, their mental health is better. Their physical health is better. Of course, they're sleeping better. Writing in a gratitude journal improves sleep. We know this. We've talked about this in journaling. Doing any form of journaling in the evening must end in a place of gratitude. This is according to a 2011 study published in Applied Psychology, Health and Wellbeing. Spend 15 minutes jotting down a few grateful sentiments before bed, and you may sleep better and longer. And that is a natural thing because you are getting rid of everything else that is in your head and you're going to that place of gratitude. Gratitude improves self-esteem. A 2014 study published in the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology found that gratitude increased athletes' self-esteem, which is an essential component to optimal performance. Other studies have also shown that gratitude reduces social comparisons. And when you're looking at any sort of athlete, the last thing they could ever do, and this is, Jen, you know this, even with your dancers, you can't compare yourself to someone else. You have to stay in that place of just developing yourself. And gratitude reduces this. Rather than becoming resentful towards people who have more money or better jobs, or they're more talented, they're faster, they're better dancers, whatever it is, which is a major factor in reduced self-esteem, grateful people are able to appreciate other people's accomplishments. And it's so true. When you come from a place of gratitude, all you want to do is celebrate other people's accomplishments, because you're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. The fact that I even know you, and look at how talented and amazing you are. You know, so it really, it's incredible what it does for your self-esteem. Gratitude increases your mental strength. So not the psychology side of you, now your mental strength. For years, research has shown gratitude not only reduces stress, but it may also play a major role in overcoming trauma. A 2006 study published in Behavior Research and Therapy found that Vietnam War veterans were, with higher levels of gratitude, experienced lower rates of post-traumatic stress disorder. A 2003 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that gratitude was the major contributor to resilience following the terrorist attacks on September 11th. Do you remember we discussed this in Resilience? We talked about how gratitude played such an incredible part after the 9/11 attacks, and how it increased the resilience of all of the people that had gone through that trauma. Recognizing all you have to be thankful for, even during the worst times of your life, fosters resilience. So there's a chart here now. It's like the benefits of gratitude. You can see them all. There's the emotional, the social, the career, the health, the personality, and each and every one goes to happiness. Every single one. This graph is so incredibly powerful. All of it contributes to happiness, and it comes from gratitude. So how do we actually do this then? How do we develop this all amazing, magical gratitude that we're going to bring into our lives? Well, we all have the ability and opportunity to cultivate gratitude. Developing, you know how everyone says the attitude of gratitude is one of the simplest ways to improve your satisfaction with life. So here are some of the ways. So number one, I love this. I love just the count your blessings. This sounds so simplistic. This is not rocket science. We all get this. Studies suggest that writing in a gratitude journal 3 times per week, you don't even have to do it every day, 3 times per week has a greater impact on happiness. The physical record of writing, and we've talked about this a lot, so this is not the first time you guys have heard this. We heard it right from the beginning, and all the way through all of them, it always keeps coming up. The physical record of writing also is more impactful than just thinking about gratitude in your head. And if you don't have the opportunity, guys, to write it, you don't have that, you don't have your catch-all journal on you, your little one that you've always got by your side, you can say it. Saying it out loud is just as powerful. It is more powerful than thinking it, okay? The things you can list can be relatively small in importance. Okay, so for example, I'm grateful for the tasty sandwich I had for lunch today. Or relatively large, I'm grateful that my husband got a new promotion. So it doesn't matter, small or large. And I think there's a lot of people, because I know like there's a lot of people that I talk to within the PPA, they private message me all the time. And they honestly, there are so many people that have been brought up that it's almost like they're not supposed to be grateful for things in their life. Like they're being too modest if they're going there. It's like, yeah, but aren't I just bragging? I'm like, sweetheart, this is a relationship with yourself. You can brag the crap out of what you are grateful for. That is fine. All of this is fine, and it will increase in your life. But there are so many people that don't understand what this power is or how to even use it. The goal of the exercise is to remember a good event, experience, person, or thing in your life, then enjoy the good emotions that come with it. If journaling is feeling stale, try out new and creative ways to track your grateful moments. Okay, so for example, and I love these especially if you have younger children, create a gratitude jar. Anytime you experience a poignant moment of gratitude, write it on a piece of paper and put it in the jar. And this really is a great thing, especially for children to do that. Just go and write it and put it in the jar. Once a month, or at the end of the year, empty the jar and review everything you wrote. With younger children, I always even suggest to do it at the end of the week because they have short attention spans. So it's like at the end of the week, it's like, let's get the jar out. Let's see what we were grateful for. It becomes such a moment that they're like, oh my God, I remember that. Oh, I love that popsicle so much. because it doesn't matter what it is that they're grateful for as long as they're realizing the impact that this is having on their life. When the gratitude moment hits, you can exclaim, that's one for the gratitude jar. So whatever it is, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm putting that in the gratitude jar. It immediately makes the moment more meaningful and keeps us on the lookout for more. So that's just one example of easy ways you can start and get really creative. There's a few others that, like I know there was a PPA leader from last year. She and her daughter created a box. She got a box at, you know, the dollar store. They have those fancy boxes, and they made it the gratitude box in their house. I know some people do it where it is their ritual to read them all on New Year's Eve. So they fill it up all the way through, and then on New Year's Eve, and it's such an incredible trip of it's your gratitude trip down memory lane. And it's just like the most incredible thing. So the next thing is oh, nope, I skipped ahead. Sorry, guys. Okay, so mental subtraction. Okay, so this one is really important and something that I actually suggest to a lot of people when they're in the worst moments of our life. This is a great way to kind of snap you out of it, okay? In the words of Joni Mitchell, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. But sometimes just imagine that something is gone is enough to make you appreciate what you've got. So when people, this is something, like I said, I suggest this to people that are going through the worst times. They've had massive setbacks. They've, you know, big mistakes have happened. Big tragedies have happened in their life. And I don't suggest mental subtraction is something you do on a regular basis. But it is something to snap you out of the, you know, that negative cyclone that we can get ourselves into. So one way to do this is to engage in the mental subtraction of positive events practice. Take a moment to be grateful for positive events in your life, such as a job opportunity, educational achievement, and then reflecting on what your life would be like without them. So in that moment, you know, you're going through this really awful time, and so you start to look around. Okay, you know what? Like, this is going to be hard because I don't want to be grateful for anything because I'm angry, I'm upset, whatever it is. But you know what? I'm grateful that I have this house. I'm grateful I have my kids. You know, I'm grateful, you know, that I have this water bottle. It doesn't matter what it is. And then imagine none of it exists. The moment that happens, even if you were to imagine right now, those things that you are grateful for are all taken away. They no longer exist. How you would feel. The thing is they do exist. So it snaps you into this place of, oh my God, but they do. And it takes you, it's like a floodgate of, oh my God, that was just a nightmare. And now I woke back up. They do exist. I do have my house. I do have my kids. I do have my husband. All of these things. It really snaps you back in. It takes you out of the negative cyclone. It jumps you out of it because it's like someone just took those two paddles and said, clear, and they pumped them on your chest. Because it does, it snaps you back in. A series of 2008 studies led by Ming-Hyung Koo found that completing a 15-minute, so again, just like any other journaling practice, you only do it for 15 minutes, 15-minute mental subtraction writing exercise led to increases in happiness and gratitude. Mental subtraction can counteract the tendency to take positive events for granted. It helps you recognize how fortunate you are for the things that transpired as they did. So it really is an incredible, and I suggest this one to people all the time when I see them in that really awful place. Okay, so number 3 is saying thank you. Well, we all know what that feels like. Gratitude can be especially powerful when it's expressed to others. Small gestures of appreciation, such as thank you notes, can make a difference. But there are some things that deserve more than just a fleeting thanks. If there is anyone in your life to whom you feel you never properly expressed your gratitude, writing a thoughtful, detailed gratitude letter is a great way to increase your own feelings of gratitude and happiness while also making the other person feel appreciated and valued. It may also deepen your relationship with them. See, here's the thing. 2005 study by Martin Seligman described above also tested the effects of writing and delivering a gratitude letter, finding that one of the 5 different practices that the researchers tested, this practice, out of all of them, had the greatest positive impact on happiness 1 month later. Those who delivered and read the letter to the recipient in person, rather than just mailing it, reaped the greatest benefits of all. And that's the thing. We talk in the PPA all the time. I constantly talk about, like, when was the last time you reached out to someone and not just said, hey, how you doing? But hey, I just wanted to reach out today to just really tell you how much you mean to me. Like, what the impact you've had on my life is huge. And as human beings, it's like we've forgotten this practice. You know, there are a lot of us, I know in this group here, that do not lack that, but there are a lot of people where that just doesn't exist. Like, I'm so surprised by the amount of people that just don't use the word thank you. In my house, it's ridiculous. Like, people that have been in my house with my family on a regular basis are like, I don't think I've ever met a family that says thank you as much as you guys. Like, thank you for every single iota thing that exists in this house. Every person says thank you. If I make dinner, my husband makes dinner, it doesn't matter. Everyone, like, we'll all sit down and we'll be done, and every single person be like, oh my God, thank you so much for dinner. Thank you for dinner. Thank you for dinner. Like, every single time, like, anyone does anything in this house, that word exists because it means so much to all of us. And it does. It speaks volumes. So we need to overuse it, I think. The don'ts. Okay, here's the thing, guys. With everything we do in these workshops, I always like to point out even the don'ts of something, okay? So the don'ts of practicing gratitude. Don't overdose on it. When it comes to keeping track of your gratitude, the adage, more is better, doesn't necessarily apply. If you find yourself hesitating when putting pen to paper, remember we discussed this when we were doing journaling? If you are hesitating when putting pen to paper, you may begin to think your life isn't that good. Do you remember when I said to you, if you put 2 down and it says you should put 3 and you can't think of a third one, you're done. Don't put pressure on yourself that you can't come up with a third one. Because what's going to happen is all of a sudden, we're going to go to a negative place of, really? I don't have 3 things I can be grateful for? Who am I then? So we can take things to a negative. So don't ever overdose. Like, just let it naturally happen, okay? Number 2 is don't focus on feeling grateful for someone or something who isn't worthy. And this is a big one that we all do. So this is kind of taking a little piece out of the toxic workshop as well. If you're in a bad relationship with someone who just can't make you happy, focusing on gratitude may be the wrong choice. This could be a romantic partner, a boss, a roommate, friends, it really doesn't matter. By focusing on all the ways you appreciate this person, you may choose to stay where you are when you should be focusing on finding a way to get out of an unhealthy situation. So we always have to assess this situation. Is this one of those toxic relationships where there is never any give and take? Is this just a taker? Is this someone that is just, only available on their time and not your time? And yet you're constantly just giving them gratitude and being so grateful that you have this friendship, yet it's unhealthy. So make sure you're always being aware of what the relationship is, because gratitude is not going to fix that for you, okay? So that is a big don't. Don't downplay. And as women in general, we do this one a lot. Don't downplay your own successes through excessive gratitude. After something good happens to you, you will benefit from thinking about it and thanking the people who made it possible. And we all do this. So Jen, you probably did this with Peter Pan. You were so grateful for all the amazing people that helped you pull this off. Oh my God, you're all phenomenal. But of equal importance is acknowledging your role in the process. And in a lot of cases, we forget that part, right? You're like shaking your head. I feel this may have happened. If you are someone focuses on thanking everyone else and downplays your own hard work and talent to a fault, you may be hiding low self-esteem behind your gratitude. So you need to be aware of what's happening there. Don't let gratitude get in the way of appropriately taking credit for your own part in your success. So as much as we are supposed to constantly be putting gratitude out for other people, we need to also be like, and I've got to say, I'm really even proud of myself here too. Like, or when people in that moment are like, oh my God, Jen, you're amazing. You're the best at everything. Listen, you don't have to be like, oh my God, I know. All you have to do is go, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. And that's it. You don't have, it doesn't have to be a big show, but just appreciating and not going, no, 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 it's all you guys. No, 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 it's all you. And how many times do you see people do that? So we have to make sure that gratitude is not masking something else that is happening. Okay, so that is a don't. Don't mistake gratitude for indebtedness. And there are so many people. All of us here can raise our hand and say, we know these people. Gratitude is the positive emotion you feel when someone else helps you out. Indebtedness, on the other hand, generally leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. Someone helped you and now you owe them. That is not true. That is not how gratitude works. If you mistake feelings of gratitude for indebtedness, you may find yourself working hard to repay a favor, not to express your appreciation, but to take the weight of a debt off your shoulders. In close relationships, this needs to repay. It's that tit for tat. Oh, you did that for me. That means I've got to do this for you. Now you've got to do that for me. Gratitude in this situation actually doesn't even exist. That's not existing in here because now it's turned into indebtedness. Okay. This leads to negative feelings between partners. Repaying someone who matters to you too quickly may be a sign that you don't want a close relationship. Okay, so when someone does something nice for you, you need to appreciate it and just be grateful for it. That doesn't mean you have to then in turn do the same thing. Now, I'm not saying you should never do something nice for another person. That's not it at all. But I have this one particular friend where, and they're a couple and they both do the same thing. Every single time you do anything nice for them, they'll turn around the next time you see them. And not only will they get you a bigger gift or something bigger or invite you or pay the bill when we all go out, because it's like, no, well, you got the last time. I'm like, yeah, I got your coffee at Starbucks. You're like buying my dinner. That is not even the same thing. You know what I mean? But it's that tit for tat. So it's like that person, when I bought her coffee, didn't appreciate and was grateful. She was like, all she was thinking was, oh my God, I got to repay this and it's got to be bigger. So that is actually unhealthy, okay? So how do we do this, guys? How do we do gratitude? And we all know practice, practice, practice. That's it. No rocket science here. That is it. So studies show the best way to make gratitude a habit is to spice it up with different types of gratitude practices. It doesn't matter exactly how often you practice gratitude because even the journaling is 3 times a week. What matters is that you do it routinely. So it is a regular occurrence that is happening every day, once a week, 3 times a week, whatever works for you. Just stick with it and keep it consistent. So number 1, so here is where I come up with even greater ways for you to continually practice gratitude. So number 1 is post words, photos, and objects of gratitude in your home. My entire home is filled with messages everywhere. When you guys come, you'll see it. They're everywhere. Up in my office, it's filled with all of it. My refrigerator is full of Post-it notes. So this is a general way to get you started and keep yourself motivated. Place the items where you'll see them often, and then let them remind you to stop and be grateful. What motivates you to be grateful? Post it. I love Post-its are the easiest way to do it because you can put it on your mirrors in your bathroom. You can put them on I remember when Michelle told us about she would put notes on the ceiling the moment she opened her eyes in the morning. You can put stuff wherever you want. Number 2 is carry a physical token of gratitude. So for me, guys, my dog tag, I wear my dog tag every single day. And what I have a tendency to do, yeah, you've got yours on, Jen, I rub mine all the time. Like I constantly play with it and I rub it. And for me, it has become something where it's like, it reminds me of like, oh yes, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I also have like things, so like I have rocks and stuff. So I have a tendency, I love to have things in my hand. So I have like little rocks. My husband, Mike, he has this exact rock. So this is angelite, is what this particular, and I bought him one of these. So it calls all your angels in whenever you're in that place. And so this rock, a lot of times what he'll do is like when he's going through really stressful things at work, he'll put it in his pocket in his pants. And then he'll just like put his hand in his pocket and he'll rub the stone. And it'll take him to that place of gratitude and just calm him by rubbing the stone. So everyone will have it. And a lot of times like with women, I always say to like, jewelry is the perfect thing. It could be your ring, it could be a necklace, whatever it is. So place it in your pocket. Any of these things that are physical reminders to take you to that place of gratitude, okay? Change the language is number 3. Another trick that works well is catching yourself saying, I have to do X, whatever it is. I have to do the laundry, I have to do the dishes, you know, I have to do the groceries. How many of us say these things on a regular basis? I want you to change it to, I get to do. I get to do the laundry. I get to do the groceries. I get to do this stuff. It literally shifts that neural pathway in your brain to go to a place of gratitude because you get to do it instead of I have to. Most of us don't really have to do anything. We really don't. We normally choose to do something. And more often than not, when you think about the choices you are making, you feel good and the opportunities you get every single day. So just shift it a little. Just try that one simple little thing. I get to do this. And it's a great thing to actually even remind your kids, change their dialogue. Because we are the ones that have taught them to say, I have to do. Change it to I get to do. Okay, use social media feeds as a way of expressing gratitude. I have to tell you, I am the complete opposite person. You know how statistics everywhere are saying that social media is a detriment to society right now, and it's making people depressed and it's ruining people. I don't know what social media they're on, but that does not exist in my social media. My social media is the most incredibly positive social media on this planet. And the thing is you can create that. We can also several times a week or once a day post gratitude posts. Jen, you have become such a trooper with this, with your cute little dancers, and I love the little things. It's like, it's so good. You can do this. This could be a quote or a photo of something you are grateful for. Showing gratitude via your social channels can be a powerful networking tool as well, because people are now seeing where you are coming from. You're not complaining. People, it's just like what I started with at the very beginning by saying thank you. People are wanting to connect with you because of the gratitude you are showing now in your social media. The ripple effect is undeniable. Change your passwords, and this one is incredibly important. We all have phones, we all have computers, and we have passwords on everything. Look at, feel like I just blew your mind, Jen. All of our devices need passwords.
That's brilliant.
And they have to be changed regularly.
It's brilliant.
You can change them to words of gratitude.
Because you're saying them all the time as you're entering them.
Yes.
We're
literally unconsciously, you're literally typing words. I am grateful. Gratitude.
That
today. Whatever
is
it is.
I love it.
You have to do it.
Holy moly, I love it too.
It's done.
Done.
Yeah.
It will literally change your life. And the thing is take it even a step forward. If you are trying to bring something into your life, if you have a certain affirmation that you want to happen in your life, change your password to your affirmation. Change it. And it's literally, you are bringing it into your life because you are saying it, you are typing it, you are doing whatever it is on a
I'm doing it right now.
Do it. Number 6 is turn everyday moments into gratitude practices. There are several things we need to do on a regular basis. This is the perfect time to take a moment to say what you're grateful for. Do you remember the thing I had you guys all do in those moments where we go on autopilot? And I'm like, in autopilot, you need to bring yourself to a place of the present moment. So now what I want you to do is, now that you guys are taking yourselves out of that autopilot moment when you're brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, taking a shower, driving to work, making coffee, whatever it is that you're doing where you're on autopilot, I now want you to shift that to gratitude. This is where you will not only bring yourself to a present moment, but you will start shifting your happiness. In my bathroom, and I think I've mentioned it on here before, in my bathroom, I even have a journal in my bathroom that when I go to the bathroom, I actually grab it and I'll write down 1 or 2 things that I'm grateful for. Listen, you're there for like a minute. There's nothing else to do. I might as well use this autopilot moment as a benefit to my life. Right? So it's like gratitude, you can easily, because there's so many people where they're like, oh, I don't journal. That's just so hard. Oh, I forget. I should be doing that. And I'm like, implement them into your moments of autopilot. And it's like you're not even thinking about it. It's just like now typing in your password. So you're brushing your teeth, and while you're brushing your teeth, you're thinking of 5 to 10, however long it takes you to brush your teeth, how many things you're grateful for in that moment. I'm telling you guys, it will shift your life. Okay, so like I mentioned, there is a video. Here is the link at the very end, okay? So please go on it. Please watch it. It is the most beautiful video that and the thing is he made this 10 years ago, and it's had well over 1 million times people have viewed this. Like seriously, since I put it in this document, it's probably been viewed even more since then. They've updated, so since it was first done, they've updated some of the photos and the footage and stuff, but the words are still the same. And so he talks about 8 reasons the world needs a grateful day. And this is why it's so incredibly beautiful, and it's such an incredible thing to watch, to just take you there, because visually it takes you there, the words take you there. So number 1, it's needed. People around the globe report increasing levels of stress. They do. Like, guys, our world is imploding right now, and that's why it's so important we're doing this. Studies show that not only does being grateful feel good and promote pro-social behavior, it is also good for our hearts, our relationships, our sleep, and it reduces stress. Everything that was in this workshop. Gratefulness is an antidote to the woes of the world. Number 2, it's quick. It's a 5-minute long video, and it's brief but effective tonic. Number 3, it's soothing. This short video stops us in our tracks, calms our nervous system with gentle music, and the voice of Dr. David Steinhill-Rast reminding us to look around and notice the everyday gifts of our lives. Number 4, it's instructional. The video encourages us to look at the sky, wonder at the miracle of electricity, running water, appreciate the ever-changing weather and the colors all around us. All of these reminders teach us how and where to look, connecting us with the many reasons we have to feel and to be grateful. There are so many times in our life, guys, where we spend so much of our time looking down at our phone, and we miss this part. And that's why even when I do videos, sometimes I talk about when, you know, you're in those autopilot moments or you're stressed. The biggest thing is when people drive and they get into traffic, and that increases stress, which then triggers us into a bad day. It is one easy component that you can change. And I call it doing the beautiful scavenger hunt. While you're driving, stop looking at the traffic. You're stopped dead in traffic, look around. What are you looking at? Even if you're on the Gardner in the middle of nothingness and just concrete, look at the car beside you. What does that person's hair look like? What color that car is? Like, what is the sky? What are the clouds today? Is it gonna rain? Whatever it is, look around and make it a scavenger hunt in your life. it really will take you out of that awful, stressful moment. I got to tell you guys, I despise traffic more than you will ever know. And that is why I have incorporated these things into my life to take myself out of those awful triggers. And the beautiful scavenger hunt helps me more than you will ever know. And all of a sudden, I'm noticing the amazing things around me in life.
Yeah, my kids, one day, Callaway, we were stuck in traffic, and he's like, why does everyone look so miserable? He's like, it looks like everybody hates their life. And so we started doing this. Let's try to make them smile.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So when we're stuck in traffic, the kids, sometimes they do goofy things, but sometimes they just look and smile, and people smile back. Sometimes they wave. You know, some people look at them like they're crazy. But their mission in life is to try to make these miserable looking people smile.
I love that. And the thing is when you smile at another person, it really is contagious.
It is, yeah.
Like they will smile back. Like it
most
happens.
of the time. Yeah.
You know, when you get behind the school buses and everybody's like freaking out, oh my God, I'm behind the school bus.
Wait.
I love getting behind the school buses because all the kids are always so damn goofy at the back of the bus.
Yeah.
And then they'll start waving. And it's like, I always start waving.
Yeah.
And then you're doing the thumbs up and they're doing the thumbs up. And then they're telling their friends, oh my God, watch, whatever I do, that lady's going to do.
Yeah.
It's
for
so
sure.
crazy. The behind the bus thing is hilarious.
It is.
It's so funny. But anyways, I want you guys to take some time to really check out the video and just let it speak to you in any way that it's going to and teach you the gifts and the connecting and the trueness that really is around us. Because like, guys, gratitude is just so much more than just saying thank you. It is a part of, not all of it, because it's a lot more than that. And it has ginormous benefits that really does shift and change our life. Like I said to you, without gratitude, our life exists in a place of lack and scarcity. And it does. And we watch so many human beings coming at life from that place. Everything is always the worst day of their life. Everything always bad happens to them. Whereas when someone is walking around in a place of gratitude, all they have is joy and abundance. The only thing that exists in that place. So that is gratitude, guys. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're on mute, Cherry.
Oh, I know. I muted myself because kids and yeah. Oh my God, it was awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys love it. I'm so glad. So what? I think I know what resonated the most with Jen. I think it was the passwords. But Sherry, you're talking. What resonated the most with you?
Yeah.
What is like wow?
Well, I think the whole thing is wow. I think in the sense that as much as you know what to do, it's taking that leap to go back to those basics and get the Post-its out and just take simple like steps. So if all you're going to do for the next week is just don't even worry about what the outcome is, just do it. Like, I think that's the problem. And you want to jump to outcome, but really it's all about marry the process, divorce the results, right? And so you just reminded me, those people didn't know what was going to happen. They were part of a study. And so no one expected any result. They just wanted to see what would happen. And then when you realize, holy smackaronis, that really is huge. So I was like, you know what? I think one of the things that I certainly do is I try to take it all on, but I think it'd be so much more effective just to take on one and then just go for a couple weeks and go, yep. But as you said, it doesn't matter what or how often, it just matters that you do it consistently.
Yes.
It's the consistency, I think, that is really the part that eludes most people. They take wonderful courses, they go on diets, they're great for a little while, but they're not consistent. And it's better to just do it once a week or once a month and be consistent than to just be sporadic. Am I right? Is what I really took from that.
Fully.
That's really interesting.
It's like it comes down to practice routinely.
Routinely.
Exist on a regular basis. It needs to become, and wherever you're going to put that practice, like, I know, when we did the journaling, like, it was like, oh, it's like, Jen in particular, you said that, doing it in the morning, you could do the journaling and you could do your gratitude, but at night you would wait till the kids went to bed and then you're exhausted and then you would just fall asleep and then never happened. And that's okay. That's not where you're going to be doing it. And I know for myself, I am such a morning person, very much like you, that is my favorite time to actually do my gratitude, to do my affirmations, for all of that to exist. And then I do it throughout the day, depending on when I need it or what I need it for. Like I do have a tendency when I brush my teeth, I actually like go through in my head, even though it's more powerful to write it, it's more powerful to say it. And I can't do that when I'm brushing my teeth, but I do go to that place of like what I'm really grateful for. Like when I finish and I'm ready and I'm done and what my day is going to be. And then the journal that I have in my bathroom, I don't do it consistently every time I go to the bathroom. I do it when I need it. So it's in that moment. So it's like but it needs to be something that, so for me, Sherry, my consistency and my routine is the morning. And the rest of it just gets to fill in wherever it does, whenever I need it. But for me, that's my routine. It's the morning and it starts my day off. There was someone that posted in the group, I think it was today. Yep. Today it was like, what got you up and like, what made you want to be awake today? And I was literally like, because I'm grateful to get up and talk to the PPA. It's like, and I always go to that place of like, I'm grateful for this. So yeah, it really does make a difference. Karen, for you, what was it for you?
Well, I think
keep going in and
out. Happier. That's a significant increase. I will admit to be a little sporadic with my writing my gratitude journal, but I think that stat is finally going to get me doing it more often. Yes. And the lack of limitation, like what do you want in your life? Lack and limitation or joy and abundance. If it just means being grateful and writing out some gratitude sentences before bed, it's worth it, I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah. And I believe I read that Jack Canfield has recipe cards by his bedside, and he reads his gratitudes before he falls asleep. Because if you think about it, usually what you fall asleep thinking about, you wake up thinking about.
Yes.
So that means all night long, you've been hashing that over in your mind. So that's, 8 hours, 7 hours of thinking about something. So it might as well be something positive, something you're trying to manifest. So, and then also I've heard that the first 11 seconds, I think we talked about that. It's very important also in the morning. Yeah. So then those just things to keep in mind.
It is. I have to tell you, if you guys can shift your morning routines to the first thing you do is a place of gratitude, if it's like writing in your journal, if it's even like you get out of bed, walk to the bathroom and sit your butt on the toilet and like say what you're grateful for or write it down there and then go on with your day, I'm telling you, it will change your life. You will start to notice a difference, because then when you go downstairs, you know how sometimes like we do have moments where it's almost like you get up on the wrong side of the bed because it's like, oh my God, my list today is ridiculous and I can't even believe. Or, like the dog woke you up or whatever it is that's happening. And it's so true, Karen. I love that you brought that up. Like the first 11 seconds, it's ridiculous how that can change your entire day. And we know that moment you get up with that bad mood, it does resonate pretty much the entire day. So now just change it. You shift it to that place of gratitude, and now that becomes your day. And it does. It's like, and then you have people saying, "Oh my God, you're just so happy all the time," like it's a bad thing. I'm like, people walking around like they're just so miserable all the time, because they're really not. Like for some reason, people complain about happy people. I'm like, what is wrong with society?
Well, I think I read that Jack Canfield has a separate set of recipe cards that he reads in the morning. So he's got his nighttime ones and his morning ones there that he reads.
Amazing.
Yeah, and he's pretty successful. So I would say it works.
Totally. And the thing is also, like, if you think about the 5-minute journal, the questions that we ask in the morning are very different to the questions that you ask in the evening, because it should be like that. Like, the morning should be very much a place of gratitude, of like accomplishments that you're going to do and things you get to achieve. Whereas your ending gratitude at the end of the day is, oh my God, look what I just did. And now it's like, what could I have done even better? Not to say that you did something wrong, but do you remember how I talked about how to motivate yourself to get you ready for the next day? So yeah, it definitely should be two different things. So yeah, and Jack Canfield, like, seriously, that man is such a beautiful human being on every single level. And I love now that he's doing more and more motivational speaking, because he really is that person. Like, I'm glad he let go of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he's gone in a direction of what's really feeding his soul now. Because like, I feel, yeah, he's that person.
Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful that I already have 2 people interested in signing up for a class and learning about this.
Oh my God, amazing!
Yes.
So just to let you know, guys, Michelle is doing the onboarding videos tomorrow. So the affiliate program, the ambassador program, is good to go. She's doing the onboarding videos. They're all going to be uploaded to the site. And you guys should probably have a link to sign on by Friday, and you guys can start becoming ambassadors. Like, you're going to be in. You can start sharing. You can start earning. You can start doing, like, so go through all the videos, go through everything that's there so you guys really understand everything that's in there. And then let's go. We're going to get really loud, people.
Where do we find our link? Where do we go? Or
so I'm going to send you guys the link once the onboarding videos are loaded tomorrow. So
okay.
I'm going to be sharing the link on Friday with you guys. So the other leaders already have the link and they're already signing up. But what we found was people were wanting to share and do things before things were connected. And we were like, okay, stop. And I was going to share it with you guys. And then Michelle was like, let's finish. And then give the link, because they're going to get excited and they're going to want to start sharing.
Oh, that's great.
I know, it's very exciting. So Jen, okay, I know the passwords resonated with you. What else for you was a big thing?
I think the gratitude jar. I think that's such a great idea, because not only are you writing it down, but you're revisiting it.
Yes.
So, a lot of times we write things and then we turn the page,
Mhm.
right? But here, like, you revisit it. And I thought, like, not only is it a good thing for me to do, for my family to do, but I might want to start one with my competitive team, and have them do it. So we do different activities with them because we believe in the lessons within the lessons, and that dance is a portion of what we teach. Mm-hmm. So I love that. And I think, sometimes, especially with kids, we forget to teach them, to be grateful and thankful and, to kind of stop. And like you said, it can be something so simple.
Exactly.
So I think that will really, it'll show me what's important to them and help me, guide them a little bit better. But again, it's them, bringing that into their lives and then revisiting it as well. So
the ripple effect is huge. I even know, so Elizabeth, who is a PPA leader from last January, she owns Glamagals. So it's like a day spa for kids, and it's adorable. And she not only does that for her kids, and because they do have classes as well, like they have like Zumba and stuff like that they have at the salon, but she does it for her employees. That's awesome. Have down in the office, there's envelopes for each person. And so anonymously, people can write stuff and put it in their envelopes. And then once a month, everybody takes their envelopes down and they read the gratitude messages that they received from their coworkers.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, Elizabeth, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
She's like, I can't even tell you the team spirit it has created within her own organization. Yeah.
I love that.
It's amazing and that's the thing, because
and if they're happy, they'll stay longer. They'll work harder.
Of course they will, because feel appreciated.
Appreciated. Yeah,
Everybody in life wants to be seen, heard, and acknowledged.
exactly.
They
Yeah.
really do. And so like that, and I was like, Elizabeth, I think that's absolutely beautiful. I think it's such a great idea on every single level. So yeah, it's really good. It does help, guys. Studies have shown it. And this is, if you notice throughout all the workshops we do, this is about the only one where I continually say there was a study done on it. And it's because a lot of people don't realize the scientific basis behind something so simple as gratitude. And yet it's so incredibly powerful. So, wow. Thanks, guys.
Thank
So,
you.
I'm going to open the door now. You guys don't have to, but if anyone else wants to stay on, they want to chat about other stuff, I am here. If not, have a good evening, guys, and enjoy your evening. So it's up to you.
Sure, I'll stay on.
Amazing, Karen. I'd love to know further. Amazing. Well, what would you ladies like to talk about then? So tell me where you're kind of at. What are you feeling from all the other workshops? Have there been other stuff that has shown up for you guys?
I was just going to ask if we should bring anything on Saturday on the 28th, but we can talk about that stuff too.
Okay, so for Saturday, so just to let you know, I'm going to be putting out a note. I'll put it into the group because now I want to make sure that I get people's like allergies, what they can eat, what they can't, all of that stuff. I know, Sherry, you're away.
Yeah, Quinn is competing. She might even be mid-round that day.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I know. I'm so sorry. Yeah, she's going to Worlds again. So it's like, it's huge. We're in Arizona for it. But it's huge. Oh, it's totally exciting. No, it's so exciting. But it's like two wonderful things. I'd love to see everyone in person. But yes, that can happen again. Here we go.
Definitely. Yes.
I'm away too.
What was that?
I'm away too.
I know, you're away too. I know that. Yeah,
So
so
sorry.
I'm not gonna have anyone like I like a few people have reached out to me, and I always say a bottle of wine will never be objective. So that will always be. I will have so much gratitude for that. But yeah, so we're gonna take care of everything on that day. So it looks like I think we have like 18 people coming. So I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun in the backyard. Yeah. So it's just. So bring your appetite. I think Mike's going to make pork loin. No, did he say sliders or pork loin? I can't remember. One or the other he's going to make. So I think that'll be super fun.
Yes, and you're a red wine drinker, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Definitely. Although I have been drinking just lately with this heat, white wine. And it's generally the only time that I actually drink white wine is in the summertime.
The same.
So hot.
My loves, I need to go put my children to bed.
Okay, Sherry, you good night. Good night.
Big hugs. Good night.
Good night. I know I keep forgetting. She's got like little ones. So yeah, so what else has been happening with you guys?
I've been getting a little bit better with my journaling. Yes, and I love it. Like, I never thought I'd like it, to be honest.
It's true.
I didn't.
It takes a while to get into the practice, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you forget and it's like, oh, I'll do it later, and you get into that. But once you get into a routine of just every single morning, like I know for myself, like if like something has occurred where I have to like get up and go, it's like, oh, like it's like something's missing. I forgot something today. Yeah.
No, I definitely feel better when I do it. So I feel the benefits of it. So
what type of journaling are you doing? Are you just doing your affirmations and gratitude? Have you dived deep into anything emotional, or are you just staying there?
No, just affirmations and gratitude is, but I find it so beneficial that, you know, I love the spot that I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's been really positive for me.
Wow. Amazing. What about you, Karen?
It's sort of set a bit of a fire in me to financially to rekindle some things I was working on and just be more assertive with financially. So I'm glad we're going to be getting the links too, and I can be sending those out now too. So I think it's helped with my confidence. Sorry, geez, I get tickly. That's why I keep going off screen, is when spirit comes in, it tickles my nose and it tickles my head.
Wow.
And I say to spirit, okay, I know you're here. I just tell me some other way. Stop tickling my face.
Wow.
Yeah. So strange thing. I'm trying to get it to stop. I know because I took a mediumship course, and that's when it really would happen a lot. And so that's how I kind of connected the dots on it. And so spirit's here, in my opinion, because it's tickling me like crazy right now.
Gosh, Karen, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, it happens a lot when I'm with you, actually, Heidi.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
I have to tell you guys, I had this, this is the craziest thing. Like so you know how you get Facebook messages sent, but sometimes you can have a message sent and it goes into your other box because that person's not a friend of yours. And so I like very regularly check the other box because of the PPA, because of course not all those people are my friends. I can't have 17,000 friends. Like they only match you at 5,000, right? And so so people message me all the time. So I continually go in there and check, you know, just in case it's not just like a creepy person or whatever. And so I had this one particular guy yesterday get in touch with me, and he's like, I have to read this to you. What he's like, I'm just like, I was so blown away by this guy. I was like, what? But he like right away, he said to me, am I gonna be able to find him now? Oh yeah. So he says to me, you have an interesting spiritual energy, Heidi. Are you an empath? And I was like, that's an odd thing to write. You know, like, it's just like, why would you ask me that question? And so, so I just got back to him and I'm like, you know, great to connect. I actually am an empath, but why do you ask? And so he was just like, no, like I'm definitely like sensing an energy from you and sensing like gifts from you. And I'm like, well, who are you? And so apparently he's a spiritual guide. And so he's someone that actually connects with empaths, and he helps them, like if they have, you know, negative energy or whatever it is. And he's like, you know, just, you know, and so I was like, well, I'm very curious then. What do you see with me? And he like, again, he got back and he's like, no, I definitely sense like a lot of gifts with you, but you're being overstimulated a lot. There's like a lot of energy coming at you right now. And you have days where you don't know how to take it because it'll be negative or positive or whatever it is. And so there's like this overwhelming thing that's happening. And so while he's like, so I'm like, wow, that's pretty insightful. Right. And then I quickly got back to him, but I was like in the middle of a lot of stuff because I have a huge deadline that I'm getting through right now. So I'm like going through, and like all of a sudden he just chimes back in and he's like, Heidi, I really don't want to bother you. I know right in this moment you are very overstimulated by your deadlines. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what? Right.
Wow.
And then he's like, and I said, you know, and he's like, listen, you know, hopefully you'll reach out again one day. It'd be great to connect. And so I got back and I said, you know, I can't thank you enough for contacting me. And I would love to connect again in the future. You are right. And I'm kind of under the gun right now with some things. And so he gets back and he says, that would be great. If I'm, you know, if I'm not in the middle of something, I will get right back to you. I promise. And then he says, but Heidi, I need you to understand something. You've been asking for this guidance and I need you to know I'm here. And I was like, no, guys, I can't even tell you. The last couple of weeks, I've asked more questions in my journal than I have in a very long time. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, here is this stranger that's like, no, I just need you to know you asked for this. So I'm here when you're ready. And I was like, oh my God. So then I was very overwhelmed by that entire moment. And so I've been like trying to even comprehend what just happened. I'm like, oh my God, like that's crazy town. Like I feel like Archangel Michael and my Nana brought this human being to me and I don't know what to do with it.
Wow.
Right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
Karen, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if my Nana constantly visits you when we're on together.
Somebody is. And I got chills when you told that story. That's another thing. When somebody is sort of saying, you're correct, I get goosebumps. So,
Yeah.
gee, I'd like to meet him. I'd love for him to do, because I get overwhelmed because I can feel other people's energy.
I'll tell you his name. So his name is Bob Baldwin. Do you know this person? Let me
Does
look.
he have a picture there?
I didn't even look at his profile, so let me just check. I don't even know where this person is from. His name is Bob Baldwin.
Okay,
And, I don't know. Let's see. No, it doesn't even say where he's from or what he does. But like, he was so like extremely unobtrusive with me, like not pushy, like just like, yeah, it was a really crazy experience.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. It's so crazy. Yeah.
But it happened for a reason. You put it out there.
I did. I did. And the thing is as soon as he said it, I couldn't even deny that he was wrong because I knew I had been. And yeah, I was like, oh my God, I really have been asking more questions just lately. So I guess they're not just going to show up as signs. They're literally showing up as a physical human being with answers that I'm now like, oh my God, what is this?
That's crazy.
I know.
But you had a mentor a while ago, didn't you? That was also somewhat of an empath that could read energy. I thought you had a mentor a while ago.
So I have to tell you, like, I have a lot of people like that in my life. Like, I was just with my very dear friend Dahlia and Alex on the weekend. We went down to Niagara, and my friend Dahlia is a witch, like a white witch, and I truly believe she is because like things this woman has done and accomplished and seen, and like she's amazing. And there have been many times in my life where she has done things. Like my favorite story with Dahlia is she gave me one of my favorite books to this day. It's called The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. It's a really, 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 really old book. And she gave me for my birthday The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity and The Dynamic Laws of Healing. And she said to me, Heidi, I need you to read the prosperity book immediately. Do not read the healing book yet. You're not ready for it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, how am I not ready for this, right? And so I read The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity, and in my house, I just put the book, the healing book, on the bookshelf. And I didn't think anything of it. 2 years went by. 2 years. And it's at the bottom of my stairs, this little bookshelf, right? And I got shingles. And I don't know if you guys know a lot about shingles, but shingles is caused, like it lays dormant in our body and it comes out when we're under stress. We actually initiate shingles as human beings. And so when I found this at the doctor's, and I was really sick with shingles, and I was at that time under a lot of stress. It's when I lost my store and I was under a ton amount of stress and I was so sick and I was very feverish and everything else. And I would walk up the stairs to go to the bathroom. And every time I would walk back down the stairs, I would hear, like, you know, that little voice inside our head. And I would hear, pick up the book. And honestly, I didn't think anything of it. I just kept hearing in my head, pick up the book, pick up the book. And nothing. And then finally, I think it was like the third day, end of the second day, beginning of the third day or whatever, I went up the stairs and I came back down and the voice was so loud in my head, pick up the book. I turned around and looked up the stairs.
Wow.
There's nobody there, but that's how loud it was in my head. And I stood there at the base of my stairs and I was like, what book? And I'm like so tired and I'm sick and pain and everything else. And I literally knelt down and it was like there was a spotlight on the book, Dynamic Laws of Healing. And I picked it up and I read it in 2 days and I healed from shingles. My doctor could not believe how fast I healed.
Wow.
And I was like, and I just this weekend told that story to Dahlia. I never told her that part of the story. And this was years ago that this happened. And so I told her that story, and she was like, oh my God, well, I told you, you would know when to pick up that book.
Oh my gosh. I got total goosebumps all over when you said the part about the shining light on it. Oh my gosh.
No, unbelievable. Like, I was just like, are you kidding me with this? And it's funny because telling you guys this story, of course you understand it and believe it because you are a part of this world. But there are people that I've told that story to, they're like, yeah, whatever. Like, how high was your fever? You know, and I'm like, they're like, what part of the story did you get where I like actually got better quicker than I should have? You know?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, everyone's going to take their own perspective from whatever it is. But yeah, like that for me was such a, it was, but the fact that she gave me those 2 books and said, you're not ready for this one yet, but you'll know when. Like, how did she even know to say that to me? You know what I mean? Like, and
She was guided. I would say she was guided. That was a message that you needed to hear. So she said it to you.
And that's the thing. Dahlia has done many moments like that in my life. And that's why, like, you know, I always say, Dahlia thinks she's a witch, and I know she's a witch. Yeah.
A good witch.
A very good witch. A very powerful good witch in so many ways. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So who's the author of these books? The author?
Catherine Ponder.
Catherine Potter?
Ponder. Ponder.
Oh, Ponder. Okay.
Yeah. So Catherine Ponder wrote these books like back in the 50s. Like this type of book was not popular. And she wrote these books. And so my favorite story is Dahlia actually went down to the States. They were they took a road trip to like Arizona or whatever. And I don't quite know where Catherine Ponder lives, but she lives like southern states. And they stopped because anytime there's like, you know, like book sales or like anything like that, Dahlia, like her life is filled with books. And so she stopped while they were down south at this church. And when she walked into this church book sale, all of these Catherine Ponder books were there. And she's like, are you kidding me? What is up with all these Catherine Ponder books? Like, I didn't like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm such a huge fan of hers. And so the priest said, oh, well, no, like, this is her hometown. Like, we're her biggest fans. And she's like, oh my God, that is so amazing. That is so amazing. And he's like, oh, I've got to tell you my favorite Catherine Ponder story. This is the priest. And he's like, you know, Catherine, she's like in her 80s. And, she's done quite well for herself in life. She's very successful. And so she has this beautiful car. And so she has friends that come from out of town. And she has a driver now because she's in her 80s. And so, but her friends come and they're like, oh my God, your car is so beautiful. We should take it out. It's such a gorgeous day. It's so beautiful. Let's take it for a drive. So she's like, well, I mean, how hard can this be? I know how to drive. I can drive the car. Let's go. So they get in the car. Well, she's like pressing buttons and doing all this stuff, and the windshield wipers come on. And so they're driving on this beautiful sunny day. And so her passengers are like, you know, what should we do? Like, can you figure out? She's like, I can't. She's trying to figure out how to turn them off and she can't. And so they're like, what should we do? What should we do? And she's like, all we should do is pray for rain.
Oh my gosh.
And if you read her books, you'll like get like, she's very much this person. And it's, there, like what I love about Catherine Ponder is there's very much about this positive mindset, but there's also a huge religious spiritual tone throughout her books. So for some, that's not always, something they're comfortable with. I have a huge faith in God. So it's like, it's not like I do enjoy to have that aspect with spirituality at the same time. I'm not offended by it in any way. So, but yeah, like I've read the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. I can't even tell you how many times. And there's many times I call it my Bible, and I'll just pick it up and open to a chapter. And I'm always so amazed by, oh my God, that's exactly what I needed to read today. And anyone, I've actually bought that book for more people than any other book that I've ever purchased for someone. So I've had like, there's a lot of people that I have like recommended, purchased it for them, read this. And they've said the same thing. Like, it's life-changing. I can't believe it was written back in the 50s. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. So you'll be able to find it on Amazon.
Check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. Who's your favorite author?
Oh, me?
Nah.
Well, you know, Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. I mean, I love reading those and can't help but cry. Try not to cry, but I actually submitted a story. I didn't hear anything back, but I was glad that I was brave enough to actually even submit a story.
Listen, keep submitting. I had 2 of my stories published in a Chicken Soup for the Soul.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
When you come, I'll give you the book. It's this book.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's amazing.
It's called Step Outside Your Comfort Zone. So 2 of my stories are in here.
That's the one I submitted for that category.
Wow. And also, one of my stories that is in here, it's called Family Day. I just got a notice 2 weeks ago that they're republishing that story in another new book.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
So when were they originally published?
So this one just came out this year. This is still in bookstores. Like, it came out in October.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
When you come, Karen, I'll give you one. I have copies. I'll give you one.
Oh, thank you.
Please remind me.
Now I know who I was competing against. I feel even more honored now. I feel honored I lost.
Please keep submitting. Like, definitely. Yeah, no, submit. There's lots of new titles, like lots of new books right now. So definitely submit.
That's awesome. Heidi,
Yes.
I have a question on a totally unrelated. Can you tell me, like, what happens after the courses?
Oh, yeah.
What's the process? Yeah.
What's going to happen is once we're done all of this, then we have individual meetings with all of you.
Okay.
Like, I can do it in a group meeting, but we're preferring to do them individually to take you through exactly the entire process. So you guys have completed the entire course. Now you have to go into the qualification round.
Okay.
So you guys will be sent a package. So we will have a phone call. We will take you through exactly what you're going to get in the package. So the package is your NDA. So you're going to sign that first. Then it has all of the qualifications for you guys to go through. So do you remember, Jen, you were talking to me about like branding and how things have to look and all that? That's all in this package.
Okay, cool.
So, like how you guys, you know, are like, to qualify, you must be able to like answer questions, be able to brand, like you're on time. So it's like all of the stuff is in there.
Right.
Then you have to also submit 3 professional references to us.
Okay.
So you bring back the NDA, you've read through all of the qualifications, you understand that, you fill in your references, you send it back. You then make a meeting with me to run 2 minimum workshops with me. Workshops of your choice, whichever one.
Online like this?
Yeah.
On a Zoom?
Exactly. So out of all the 12, you guys pick the 2 you want to run for me. When we sign on, I am a PPA member. You are now the leader. Okay, so you run the entire workshop. I am not Heidi at all. I interrupt you. I ask questions. So we go through the entire workshop. When it's done, then we go through, there is a, so all of those qualifications are then all graded because you have to have a certain percentage. We go through like where you rocked it, where you could have some improvement, where this could happen, where that could happen. And then we do number 2. So we go through number 2. I see how you've improved from the first one, if you needed to, or just like how you changed some things up, that sort of thing. And then we run number 2. So every single person that of course went through MPACT is not, may not, I should say, I shouldn't say that because everyone could qualify, some people may not. So with the PIPs going forward, no one is ever disqualified to never run something. So what we have implemented is with the PIPs, for the lifetime of this program, everyone will be able to sign on into PIPs for free. So for instance, Jen, if Karen is running her PIPs and you're like, oh my God, I hear Karen's forgiveness PIP is like everybody's talking about it. Hey, Karen, give the appropriate notice. I'm going to sign on and take your PIP. I want to see how you're running this amazing thing. Like, I want to see it. There may also be people that don't qualify. So they go through and it's like they're just not ready to become an impact leader, because this is a brand, guys. You know, like everyone must be at the level that is needed for a PPA leader. That is going to be extremely important. And so, but I always want to make sure that they have the opportunity to grow and self-improve themselves. So they will be able to say, Jen, you didn't make it through. That's not going to happen, of course, but you were like, I didn't make it through. But Karen is, you know, running, like, I love Karen. So Karen, just to let you know, when you start your PIPs, I'm going to take the full 12 with you. So it's like you take it again to try and improve yourself, you know, develop yourself to then come back to the table. So I'm like, okay, Jen, you know, I know you took the course again with Karen. Do you feel you're ready? Let's do this again. So it's like we run the workshops again because we're the Positive People Army. So I want people to continue to improve and develop. Just because they didn't make it through the first time doesn't mean that they will not have a chance to do that again. So we just have to make sure that that's going to happen. So all of like the ambassador program and how you guys can build teams to actually have your own salespeople. We're going to be creating banners for all of you guys so that when you go on and you see what the banners are and they're cute sayings, like they're like some of them are so funny that you'll post and they don't even look like we're advertising anything. It's just like, you know, I'm barely hanging on by one bobby pin. And then it'll just say, would you like to improve that? Positivity in practice. Click on photo. That's it. So it's like people are like, what does that even mean? And the moment someone clicks that photo, they're now yours for 60 days. So should they purchase anything, you are then commissioned. So but we're also going to create banners where it's like Karen can promote, so her team, and Karen can promote her positivity in practice, or Jen. So we're going to create individual things like that, but the majority of it is just constantly going to be like pushing the positivity in practice. So all of this is explained exactly how it's done in your one-on-one meeting that happens. So yeah, once you guys are done, we start. So we send you a calendar. It's a Acuity calendar, and we say the days that we're available from what time to what time. You guys all schedule yourself in. So I just see that you start popping up in my calendar. Each person gets 30 minutes. We generally do it over like a 2-day period or a 3-day period because we like to give daytime appointments, evening appointments so that everyone can get in there. So you guys at that time, then you get, Michelle and I, you get our attention for that 30 minutes. We have had people that have even scheduled time above and beyond that after that, you know, to just clarify a few things after they've gone through everything, and that's fine as well. Like, we're always here for you guys, like to take you through the entire process. So it's gonna be fun.
I want to show you something. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm starting a photo gallery wall, but
oh my God, I love it. Okay, first of all, I love that you picked all the white frames like I did behind me.
Yeah. I have a bunch of different ones, like of different companies that we partner with at the studio. But I thought this one was very important.
Love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
As I'm redecorating, it's coming along, but little bit by little bit.
That's amazing. We're also creating for you guys. So if you want to, so you can do your signature. So you can have PPA and you can have PPA.
Oh, cool.
So you guys, no matter what, will always have the title PPA leader.
Amazing.
Should you then become a workshop leader, you then get the title PPA workshop leader.
Okay, cool.
So then on our site that we're building right now, we have all graduates are there, all PPA leader graduates. And then there's a separate section for just the people that are going to be teaching workshops. Because we actually did have some people, like especially from November, we had 2 people that they literally took it to make themselves better for self-development. They never in any way wanted to become a leader.
Right.
And they just didn't. So, but they will always hold that title. So
I've
that's,
been hashtagging that in some of my posts too, like PPA leader.
yes, I know. You hashtag to death everything.
I hashtag I love my hashtags.
I know, me too. Me too, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all of that. So yeah, guys, it's really exciting
cool.
future. It
That's
is.
great.
It's gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun, especially when you guys start to find out like the entire breakdown. It's actually better than what we explained to you. I think we told you guys when we were at Impact that your commission within the ambassador program was 15%. We have now bumped that up to 25.
Oh, wow.
So everything you guys sell, so anything that is sold, any tickets, any programs, any experiences, anything that's sold, the commission has been bumped up to 25% now. And
Amazing.
our next line is 10%, and the line after that is 5%, and we're stopping it there. So instead of making it longer for you to get all that commission, we've made it smaller so that you get it right off the bat. Yeah.
That's great.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, of course. No, listen, everything that we're doing is we're putting it back into what we're creating together. Every single thing. The positivity in practice, you guys are getting this talk now, but the positivity in practice, the way we've broken it down, you guys will make 40% for every positivity in practice person. So you will get 40%. Then should you sell your own workshop, you will make 25%. So you are making 65%. Then your downline, 10 and 5. So 40% goes to you guys. 40% goes to the sales team. 10% is a coupon code. You're all going to be given a coupon code that you can give people 10% off. So 90% of the positivity in practice income is going out. The PPA is only retaining 10% to keep the lights on. And that is it. So we have so much faith in what this program is, and we want it to grow, that we are willing to put it all out as opposed to keeping it here. So that is a risk we're taking from the PPA, because we believe in this so much and we know what it's going to do. And so that's just really important to us. So you will hear that from Michelle's very business-minded head when she gives you the entire breakdown. But that's where we're coming from with the PIPs.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fabulous. Like I'm so excited about it.
I know.
Like I just love everything about it.
I know. We're like, I gotta tell you, like, we're pretty excited about it as well. And we're pretty excited about how this positivity can truly change people's lives. Mm-hmm. Like, especially with the ambassador program, it's crazy. Like, we're going to be doing a retreat. It's called Shine. And so we're going to be doing a retreat with the PPA in April. We have someone working on all the details right now. We're just literally waiting for a few final details before we can release it. But our ambassadors, off of one sale of one Shine, will make $900 from one sale.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. From the stuff that we're going to do, our ambassadors are going to be able to make a really good income. Wow. Yeah, that's what we're excited about. And they're going to be spreading positivity. Yeah. That's perfect. It's crazy town. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm on the Crazy Town train. Yay! First stop, Crazy Town.
Exactly. Wow. Well, I should let you ladies go. And Karen, when you come, please remind me to give you this.
Oh, I will.
And since you were here, I have another copy. The next time I see you, you can have one as well.
Amazing. Thank you.
You guys just got to remind me, okay?
Yeah, I'm so sorry I'm missing the party. I wanted to come so bad. All our holidays got messed around and
Listen, the kids needed you for Peter Pan.
You know what? I'm so glad I did it. I preach it. We're not learning and growing unless we're out of our comfort zone. And I was definitely out of my comfort zone walking into that. And, I really did learn and grow. So as much as I did it for the it was a win-win in the end. There was moments where I was like, what was I thinking? I'm not going to lie. Or like, oh my God, can I really do this? But
like, I bet that was huge. Like, like, my God, you have 50 people looking at you. Like, don't let us down.
yeah, and the thing is, when it was switched, like, it caused controversy, and I don't like controversy because, they let her go, and then, it made people upset, and then of course they take it out on me, and I start getting the nasty emails, and I'm just like, honestly, like, I'm just doing this for your good. So, when I first walked into it, I was like, oh, what am I thinking? So it consumed a lot of time with the babysitting of the parents. But like I said, I'm so glad I did it, because I really did grow. What I do with the studio, I could do with my eyes closed and my hands tied behind my back. 20 years later, you're kind of like, okay, we got this. Yeah, but it was good for me. It was good for the community. It was good for the theater. I'm so glad I did it, but I'm so glad it's over.
No, I'm glad for you as well. Like, I'm glad for everything. I'm so grateful you got that experience.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
I could tell you were very stressed, Jen. So
yeah.
I'm happy it's over for you.
Yeah,
I was relieved too, even, to be honest, because I wanted the best for you, right? I wanted it to work out.
Yeah, it was very stressful, especially because I walked into somebody else's mess.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She was let go for a reason. So, it was a tricky spot to walk into. But anyways, we did it. It's done. I don't know if I'll do it again. We'll cross that bridge. Definitely different timing. Because I hadn't planned to do that when I took on this.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. But I'm glad, like I said, in the end, I'm glad I did it. So it's good. But it's over. Yay!
Oh my gosh, ladies, thank you so much for staying on tonight. I actually, like, I have a lot of gratitude for this connection that we've had right here. So thank you for that. Yeah, no.
Thank you.
No, I do. I adore the two of you. I think the world of both of you. I love that you have so much faith in what we're doing here together, because that makes it only better and more successful for all of us. And for the PPA, that is just like, I'm like so excited for them.
Thank you, Heidi. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you and everything that you're doing and how fast you're moving forward. Like, you should be so proud of yourself. You know how you said, like, we don't stop and have gratitude for the things that we've done? Well, I hope that you have gratitude.
I definitely do. I have a lot of gratitude. I've had some incredible opportunities that have fallen in my lap on so many levels. I spoke to a woman today that she called me. Like, I have a lot of people that check in with me and just like, can I bend your ear for a few moments, and are very respectful to like make an appointment, and like, we have a phone call or whatever. And she was just like, like, I have this group and this is what I'm doing. And she's told me all about it. And then she's like, when you got into it and like the PPA, and like, what was your business model plan? I'm like, business model? I'm like, a year and a half ago, I didn't even know what a Facebook group was. I'm like, I would love to just like brag about how smart I was here, but that's not what happened. I'm like, this came out of a really fabulous mistake or like accident or
some faith, trust, and pixie dust.
It just, I said, and the thing is like, so stop worrying about like having the videos and approving and doing all this. I'm like, let people authentically show up as they are. Stop trying to control them. And the moment you let people be who they are, they will show up as who they are. And if they're promoting stuff within your group, believe me, if it doesn't work within your group, they'll stop. They'll just naturally go away on themselves. You don't have to control every single thing. Let everyone be. And if they're in there and they see what you're doing and they like it, they'll stay. And they'll stay for the right reasons.
Exactly. And those are the people you want.
Yes.
You don't want the people that are like feeling forced to stay or staying for the wrong intention.
We're told all the rules. You know? I'm like, and she's like, well, you must have so many rules because the group is so positive. I'm like, yeah, we have one rule. Don't be negative. That's it. Like,
I run a Facebook page
like
for
there's
our
there's no rules in here. Like
Yeah.
I think it over. Like sometimes people will invite me into groups and then I'll post stuff or like share a video or whatever. And I like get this long drawn out email. Did you not read the rules? And you can only post up like that on Wednesdays and this. And I'm like, oh my God, you know what I do? I'm out of your group. You know, like I don't want anything to do with that, you know, because you didn't start a group to spread positivity. You started a group to control things.
Yeah, I started a group for our community, and it's I love Port Hope, and my one rule is it has to be 100% positive. And I can't believe how many people will go on and be like, oh, so the garbage man did this, and why would the town do this? And I'm like, people, it's simple, 100% positive, or I delete it. If it's not positive, I delete it.
Delete it.
And I'm like, how? It's not hard. Like I can't believe
it isn't. It isn't. You know
but
what?
it is hard for some people.
It 100%. And like honestly, in the amount, the length of time that I've had the PPA, Jen, I'm not gonna lie. I have maybe deleted in the year and a half 15 posts. Like,
wow.
No, I'm not lying. Like, and the thing is a lot of it is like the group itself is very protective over this, and that's the thing. Like, I've given ownership; it belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to Lady Allen; it belongs to the PPA, right?
Right.
I've always been very clear that this belongs to all of us. So this is your backyard.
Yeah.
What are you gonna put in it? You
right.
know?
Yeah.
And everyone has been like really good, and we've only had like I think I've had to take out maybe 3 or 4 people I've had to take out of the group because they've been disruptive.
Right.
Like right now we have a new person that I've noticed there's a little bit of disruption with this particular woman. I've noticed her posts, and I posted something the other day I commented to one of her comments to kind of like, I need you to know what this space is.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for this isn't the right group for you. And so she's calmed down on some of the comments that she's been making. Very much, it's a victim mindset that showed up, and it's always the victim mindset. And so, so I have pointed that out, and she's been really good since. And her posts have shifted a bit to more of like, I want to learn more, as opposed to I'm just so depressed and unhappy and no one helps me. And I'm so the victimhood, right? And so, so she shifted it, and she privately messaged me, and she was like, thank you so much for reaching out. And like, you know, you were so kind. And so, so it's like, they come, but very aware of like what personalities are there and how to kind of navigate them. But like I gotta tell you, like
that's awesome.
I wish I could tell. I even said to this woman Carol today, I'm like, I wish I could tell you what the magic formula is for this to happen, but it really is just magic. I don't know what to tell you. Like the PPA really is just this magical place. The
power of positivity.
Yeah. It really is. It really, really is.
It's contagious. It's like when somebody is in a positive energy, you know, it makes you in a good mood.
It is. It truly is contagious. And, you know, the group has definitely embraced that. Everyone that is in it. And
protected it. Yeah.
They do. They really do. And I truly do believe it's because I have given ownership to all of us. And I've never retained it that it's mine.
Right.
Because I don't believe it is. Like
because the whole world is ours, right? That's what we're trying to raise the vibration of the world, and it's all ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Amazing,
guys. Wow.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Karen.
Thank
you, guys.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a good night. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.